Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be coloring out of 50 Vacation Miniatures by Kameliya Angelkova. This is a buddy color that I need to do this month, so I thought, why don't I turn on the camera and we can color together. I did already base the page. It's this hippo page. Excuse me, and I based it with my Copic alcohol markers already, because I thought I always show you the marker part and I never show you the colored pencil after. So I thought, well, this video I'll start with it already colored. If you want to take a screenshot, by all means go ahead and color it this way too, if you want to follow along a little bit. This background here I did draw in myself. I found a reference image on Pinterest, which I will pop up next to the page so you can kind of see where my inspiration came from. And then I just drew in these leaves, and I like those colors that were in that inspiration picture as well. And then I had another inspiration picture for the hippos, so I'll pop that up now. And it was kind of a purpley tone with this peach I thought I really liked. And then today on camera, the only thing I still have left to do for marker work is the water. And I want to do the water ripples with my blue greens that I have here. And then, of course, my trusty white Jelly Roll gel pen. So we will do that together. I've only really done that one other time, and it came out good. I don't think you can really mess it up. But yeah, that's what I want to do for the water, and then we'll get right into the pencil work. All right. So, oh, the other thing I wanted to show you too was that I brought this upstairs, How to Draw Patterns by Coco Wyo, because I had a couple things. Oops, nope, I think that was for something else actually. This right here, the ripples. This is what I'm going to use for this water. Obviously not these colors, but I've already based it with a solid color, and now I'm going to come in with my next darkest shade. Let me put this right here so we can be right next to each other. Hopefully you guys can see okay. I know there's a little bit of sunlight coming in through the window. I'm going to turn this light on too, just for a little extra light. So let's see, I based it with BG10, that's what this is. And then I think I'm gonna try BG15 next, and then BG23. Actually, I didn't bring up my swatch chart, so let me just make sure which one's lighter and which one's darker of these two. Okay, so that's BG15. And this is BG23, which, I mean, they're actually kind of the same tone. This one's just more green tone. This one's more blue. I think I like the BG23, so that's what we're going to do next. And so it shows like these ripple things. So I guess I'm just going to go through and start making weird looking shapes and see how this goes. Probably like around them would be a darker color, I would imagine. We'll kind of go with the lines a little bit. So how are you all doing? We have had a great weekend last weekend. It is currently August 5th or 6th, I think, when I'm filming this. And last weekend we went camping and had the most beautiful weather right on the ocean. Gorgeous views. It was so fun. Lots of stars, because out there isn't a whole lot of light pollution, which was beautiful to see. And yeah, it was just nice to get away from the city enjoy some of the country and the ocean, smell the ocean air. I don't know if any of you live by the ocean or been to the ocean, but there's something about ocean air that is so therapeutic, and putting your feet in the sand and seeing and feeling the sound of the waves. So fun. I don't know if I'm doing this right, guys, but we're gonna make it work. Anyway. And of course it doesn't help that my marker is just about to run out. I probably should have checked to see if they were all filled properly before coming up here. All right, well, let me pause you guys, and I'm gonna go down and get my refill for this, and you can see me refill it on camera. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with my refill. So I also grabbed, while I was down there, BG18. I forgot I had this one, and this one I think we'll use for the darker color. But right now I want to refill this, and so I'm gonna kind of close these up because I have been known before to spill some of this ink, and I do not want to do that. So what I do is I open up the side of the cap that has the chisel nib, because it's easier to grab onto. I take a tissue, I grab onto the end, and I yank it out like that. And then I take my refill. This is what the refill looks like. Unscrew it, and it's got this little nozzle here. You literally just put it in, and then you squeeze. And I don't know if you can see that, but there's lines on the side of the refill. And you just kind of, go down to wherever the next line is. I don't want to overfill it. So that looks like a good amount. Put the cap back on. Then pop this back in the top. Easy, easy, easy. Put the cap back on, and we should be good to go. So where I color downstairs, I always usually keep my refills to all my markers right next to me, so that anytime I'm starting to run low, I can just easily refill. And sometimes I like to test it out on a separate page so it doesn't leak out. I have made the mistake of refilling it too much, and then it leaks out the edges, which is not fun. So going over some of these places that were a little bit not very vibrant. So I'm gonna put another little weird symbol here. Like a weird little blob. I'm just trying to make weird little blobs because we're gonna go over it with a darker color as well. Could probably fan these out a little bit since I'm going in with another color. That one looks kind of faded right there. You'll add another little section there. Again, I don't think you can mess this up. It's just, it will still look like water, no matter how many blobs you do. Blobs. This one's really faded too, isn't it? Now I will say it's probably better to let your base color dry before going over it with the second color, because otherwise it will just, if the ink's still wet, it will just bleed right out. I think I want to go in here a little bit too. There. Okay. Next, we're going to take our next darker color, which is BG18, and test it over here. Oh yeah, I like the way those two look on top of each other. So we're gonna, actually, I'm wondering if I should let this dry a bit too before I put in my darker color. Because as you can notice over here, so the next step is use the darkest blue to fill the inside of those shapes. So that's what we're gonna do. And then a white gel pen to add highlights only to the light blue areas. Oh, I didn't think about that. Okay. So we are going to go in to the middle and darken up some of these edges. I think the other water I did was I drew lines everywhere. I didn't do the blobs. It was more just like different color lines, which that one came out really cool too. And I don't remember what page I did that on or what book or anything like that, of course. But I do know I did do a ripple effect in the water. There, and maybe I'll take my BG23 and come out a little bit more. And maybe I need to zoom you guys in a bit too. Let's try this. Whoops. Let's try zooming you in a little bit so you can kind of see. So I'm taking my BG23 and just kind of coming out a little bit more out of the darker color. I feel like I covered up some of my lines. Now the only problem is that with this, with this paper, it's going to get blotchy if you use too much. So maybe I should just leave it alone. It'll start to look blotchy if I try to put too much alcohol on top of each other. So we'll leave that. Next, I'm going to use my jelly roll, which is right here. And it says to use white gel pen to add the highlights only in the light blue areas. Okay, so we're going to see how this works. Which you can't really see, I feel like, in the light blue areas. So we're going to do it in the dark areas too. And I'm just going to continue to do those blobs. Because my light blue is so light that you don't see the gel pen. I feel like gel pen always shows up better if you put it in the darker areas. I'll put it in the white areas too, but... Well, I'm probably going to shade with my colored pencils, so that'll make it pop too. I'll shade next to the white gel pen, and then it will probably show up. I love to use white gel pen. Maybe a few dots here and there because, you know, water does glisten a little bit. So I'm going to add some dots. Because why not? I love dots. Okay, there's the water. I think that looks pretty good. Looks like, you know, the water's moving. It's rippling. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to put this book away. That was very helpful. And next, we're going to get to the colored pencil part of the page, which takes me a really long time. So I don't know if I'm going to get this all completely done on camera. We will see. I may have to do this in a couple settings because I do want to show you guys the whole process of what I usually go through. I have my Prismacolor pencils next to me. I've got my sharpener. I've got my notebook that has my swatches in it. So here are all my Prismacolor swatches. And usually what I do, like let's start with the hippos. So I know I want to bring some gray in, but I also like the purple, like maybe this blue violet lake, maybe cloud blue. Oh wait, no, I like blue slate, Caribbean. Oh boy, there's a lot to choose from. Oh, slate gray. Okay, we're gonna use this right here. This, I think the purple will still shine through because these are very purpley blue. And I like that slate gray. Okay, let me find those in my colors. So I'm going to pause you while I look for those. Okay, so the colors I picked is this whole section here. Slate gray, PC 936, periwinkle, PC 1025, Caribbean Sea, PC 1103, blue slate, PC 1024, and powder blue, PC 1087. And then the other two colors that I wanted to add to it was peach and light peach, PC 939 for peach, and PC 927 for light peach, to blend in with the peach that I've got here. And then I always have a white, oh, don't I have one up here? A white Prismacolor for blending. That's what I sometimes use. And I thought I had one up here. Of course I don't. Let me see if I've got one in here. Okay, I do have a little stump. So we will use that. That's actually in my book, but must all be downstairs. Anyway, so we're going to start on the hippos. So I'm going to bring in the slate gray first. And I'm just going to go around the edges. And with Prismacolors, you don't really have to press very hard, which is good. I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit. Oh, move this over. You don't have to press very hard because they are so vibrant. And I wanted to bring in a little bit of gray color. So I like to go in the corners where I think the darker places are, where the shadows might hit first, if that makes sense. And then I kind of light pressure fan out. And with Prismacolors, I am going to end up, they're so soft that you can eventually like mush them around to blend, which is what makes them so unique. They're so soft. But you have to lightly layer because they're so waxy, the wax will build up over time. So, and then you'll get that waxy bloom that you don't want, and then you can't do anything with. So it really is about using light layers. Then I'll actually bring this into some of the nail color too, this slate gray. Whoops, I'm not even on, am I on camera? Let me zoom out a little bit. Sorry about that if I wasn't on camera. I get going and not paying attention. Okay, now I'm going to bring in, what's this one? Periwinkle. And we're just going to light layer over that. Blend them right on top of each other. Now I always usually like to leave the middle, the marker color underneath. So I'm just doing the shading part with my pencils. So I usually always leave the marker color somewhere. Now doing this process is kind of a long process, I will admit. But I like doing it. It's very relaxing. I kind of zone out while doing it. That's too blue. What's this one? PC1024. Yeah, I like that one better. So we're actually going to take that one out. That's too blue. That was the Caribbean Sea I'm taking out of rotation. That was just a little too blue. Okay, so this one, I'm going to kind of go over some of the peachy areas to help blend in those parts a little bit, so you don't see the line too much. These are really messy, can be messy too, and leave lots of, usually I have a makeup brush that I brush the little pieces of pencil away, the dust, the pencil dust, but don't have that up here. Well, I do have this brush. Yeah, I like how that's looking. I'm gonna do the arm now, same way. Start out with slate gray. Already need sharpening. I like a nice sharp point. And of course these dull down quickly, so I feel like I'm always sharpening. Do a little bit of the nail. Okay, then come in with periwinkle. And lastly with PC124. I've already shaved down the part that says the name, so I don't remember what the name is, but all right, now I'm going to take my white and fan out these nails. See how it kind of just, that white just blends the gray right in, gives it a little bit of a shadow. Same thing over here, so a slight shadow without seeing all the pencil lines. Okay, now I want to come in with light peach and kind of fan out these pieces a little bit. Do a little more blending. The lighter Prismacolor pencils are great for doing any type of blending with the darker ones, so you don't have to use white. You can just use whatever light color. See how that just kind of fans right out. Blends those lines together. So this is easier for me to blend two colors together than it is to say do it with my alcohol markers. I feel like I have more control with my pencils, even though the process takes a little longer. Bring in a little bit of bluish color. And then my powder blue, let's try that over. Ooh, that's cool. That really makes it pop. Again, it's a lighter color, so it's good for blending because I've already kind of built up the wax of the pencil on the paper. So when you come in with a lighter color or the white, it just easily blends all those rough pencil lines right down into the paper. Right there, I'm starting to get the wax bloom I was talking about, so I do not want to do any more there. Do kind of want to darken up the edges a little bit more. Again, I'm probably way too picky with these coloring pages. It's only when I use my Prismacolors that I'm this picky. When I use my Artex, I just kind of lightly shade and call it good. But for some reason, when I use my Prismacolors, it's like I want it to blend seamlessly. Okay, so I really like how this hippo came out. Ooh, we got to do the belly. Let's see. We'll go in with a dark peach here. I feel like we could even go darker with the belly area. Let's see. What about nectar or henna? Let's try both of those. Nectar and henna. Okay, I'm gonna sharpen. Okay, let's try the nectar first, see how much that darkens up. Not a whole lot. Let's do the henna. Yep, that I like. And we're gonna blend it with the nectar. Come out a little bit further. And the light peach to really blend. Actually, let's try peach. Okay. Bring some of this up in here too. All right, that hippo is done. Hopefully that was on screen. Oh, okay. We are going to move on to this hippo. Let's see. So we're going to start with all those same colors and we'll just start coloring this hippo. Okay, so I had a little bit more difficulty with this hippo. I felt I wanted to try bringing some of that peach in to here, which was not probably a good idea. And then it was starting to get the wax bloom, and so then I went back over it with the bluish color. But anyway, it looks pretty good now. I'm going to do the belly and a little bit of the ears now. Okay. Now let's do the rocks. So for those, I'm going to use grays, probably my cool grays. So we want PC 70 and PC 50, 70, 50, and 30, I think. Good. Sharpen. Oops, put you on camera would help. So this is PC 70, and I'm just going to where the dark edges are, shading it in. %, cool gray. And then back with the 70% to darken up some of the places that got fanned out by the other color. And then 30% cool gray to just kind of burnish, blend out all those pencil marks. Where's my... And I still keep the top of the stone, the original marker color. I just kind of blend in. For some reason today I'm having a hard time. I feel like staying in frame. Okay, I think next I will show you how I use my jelly roll for the highlights on these guys where I've already colored them in. Off camera, let me fan you out a little bit. Off camera, I will finish shading the background and these two and their coconuts. And then at the end of this video, I will show you the completed page so you can see it all completed. So let's put in some white highlights here. Go on the tops of all the stones and add some highlights, do some dots here and there. I like to go into the darker spaces and add some dots because that really makes the page pop, in my opinion. Yeah, I like how those stones came out. I like how the hippos came out. Let's see, a lot of times I put a little highlight on the top of their nose. And maybe the top of their head. And top of the ears. Around the arm. Pretty much wherever you feel you want to put a highlight. And then I'm gonna add some dots too. like their skin is glistening from all the suntan lotion they put on. I just love you doing dots. I think that's my problem. I just love doing dots. Dot, 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 dot. All right, guys. Thank you so much. If you're still here, thanks for coloring with me today. Love how this hippo page is coming out. I will show you at the end, or actually right now, what it looks like completely completed. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye. Okay, so this is future Tiffany here. It is the next morning. I was able to complete the page last night, and instead of popping up just a photo, I thought I would come on again and show you and talk about what we did with the page. Again, sorry for that sunlight glare coming through. Maybe I'll turn on this light and that might help a little bit. Anyway, so as you can see, I did the rest of the shading in the background that I did not do on camera, as well as the floaties. I still continue to use Prismacolor pencils. That palm tree took me forever. I used dark green, grass green, and I think spring green on that palm tree. And then the background, I just used like muted turquoise and a true green. And I believe the colors for the sky were non-photo blue blended out with like a powder blue, and then a pink and blush pink. So it's just a couple of shades. And then same thing with like these colors here. It was like a carmine red. So yeah. Oh, and I did darken up the hippos a little bit more with the 70% cool gray. I just wanted to make the shadows a little bit darker than what I had previously done on camera. And then of course tons of white jelly roll, because to me a page is not complete without lots of jelly roll gel pen. So there it is, guys. There is the completed page. If you've stuck around to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.